This was the age before the internet. We found Forest Hills by looking in the Yellow Pages.
Leon and I were both in college in Raleigh. Meredith didn't have many church cuts, and so Meredith girls went to church. And Forest Hills was one of the churches that we had both visited and we had remembered, and we decided that it would be a good place to raise a family.
Forest Hills, it's been our life. We began, after the visit, Cully and Gladstone, we got involved immediately with the college department. From that point on, we've always been involved.
My husband died 40 years ago of a massive heart attack, and we had 3 young children and no family anywhere near. And I can't imagine what our lives would have been like without our church being church indeed for us.
It has been a place of rejoicing. It's been a place of sad times, being uplifted by our friends during sad times, and it's just been a wonderful place to worship and to grow.
Being a young person, relatively young when we joined the church, it was interesting that the older men in the church took an interest in me as well as other young men, and we went fishing with them at the coast. We had parties together in our home and in their homes, so we've always felt a part of the senior program.
Oh, it's been fun, fellowship, excellent programs, good food, developing close friendships, deepening relationships, and recognizing I'm not the only one growing older.
My dream for Forest Hills is to continue to grow, not necessarily in numbers, but to grow spiritually, and we'd like to see it grow in numbers, of course, but I think the spiritual growth is the most important focus that we have in our communication with God and our worship.
I hope we can continue to make an impact on this community as well as on the world.
Well, I think we all know that our culture and most everything else is changing. And so my dream, my prayer for Forest Hills is that it will be a beacon in a darkened world, and that the cross of Christ be held high on the corner of Clark Avenue and Dixie Trail.
Well, he's been very steadfast in his love for us and in his care of us, and all the joys and the sorrows that have come along. You know, God's been there to take care of us and encourage us and love us.
My biggest thing is when we've been on international mission trips, especially when we were in areas like Ukraine or other areas that don't have the resources. Whatever we needed was always made available. And sometimes it seemed like an impossibility, but the resources were there for what we needed.
Well, I have been aware that in every circumstance of my life, some that have been difficult and many have been joyful, that God has been with me.
When we look back, I can see how God has provided and guided a lot of things.
Well, it's kind of a painful answer, but when we lost an adult son, our oldest son, Gordon, when he was 19, we kind of had to make a decision. Do you just give up and die yourself, or do you go on? And God's answer to that was, you're going on. And so he has been so faithful all this time, and seen us through, like Billy said, the hard times and the good times.